figure out. There's the delay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
There it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to figure out who my guests are and whom, etc. And also, there's nobody here because the thing has to tell,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, although I did say on Discord, and it went to 2,900 people, so I think some people are here early.
Oh, wait, you post on Discord like before you start streaming?
Yeah, I did like 20 minutes ago, and
okay.
I did it at everyone, and there were like 30 responses. Yeah. So.
I'll put Kacper got it.
Yeah, Rufus and Doofus is correct. Well, they know who you are because you stream all the time.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are,
Yeah.
do they?
No, they don't.
Don't tell them. Should we give we should give a
Hint?
No, not a hint. We should give we should give a gifted sub to the first person who figures out who this guy is. Yeah. Well, you know who that guy is. Too easy. Let's Perrier. There we go.
Icons of chess.
You feel like the person on the left has been on the stream before? You're on the left.
Yeah.
Right,
So
you've
he's
been
right.
on the stream before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He may not want to reveal his own stream. But you don't care.
No, it's fine.
You literally don't care?
No, I literally don't care.
All right.
Yeah, they should know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's still nobody here because it didn't.
Oh.
Or did it? No, it didn't. Yeah, it takes an hour for Twitch to work. Oh, I think chess.com is doing that stupid, whatever, the ARC tournament. I mean, it's ARC. Watch ARC 2.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, what happened was they were going to have it in St. Louis, but St. Louis insisted it's called Arch 2, so they didn't do it.
That makes
Anybody?
sense. Yeah.
All right,
No.
yeah. I want to tell the story of my traumatic childhood, but there's nobody here. There's literally nobody here, and figuratively. All right. You know why you should never joke with a book thief?
Why is that?
They take things literally. Anyone? Yeah. All right. Yay, Dante subscribed with Prime. It rhymes with 9. All right, I'm going to give a gifted sub to the first person who's not a sub who figures out who this is. You got to figure it out. It's not Magnus Carlsen. It's not.
Close.
Okay, it could be Fabiano Caruana. It could be. He was in St. Louis yesterday, Fabiano.
I saw that now. So, like, he gets knocked out of the World Cup and he just immediately flies.
Well, you gonna stay in Sochi, Russia?
I wasn't sure if they, booked things ahead of time or.
Mm-hmm. Nigel Short's close. Karpov's also close.
You're having some kind of hint.
What? Etienne Bacrot is funny. Spencer in a mask.
That's a good one. I like
Matt
that
Damien. Well, I'm not sure if that's a joke or a typo. MVL, also a good guess. Right? No. Okay. All right, I'll have to give you a hint, right? Occasionally, when he's on the stream, he gives good donations. Occasionally. Yeah.
It's a subs.
Yeah. What's that?
It's subs.
A sub?
Subs.
Yeah, subs, not donations.
Oh, you give subs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
donated subs.
Yeah.
Gift subs.
Ed Sheeran, you get that a lot?
No, not
No.
usually.
Well, now you do.
888. That's the richest guy. That's the richest guest so far.
888. Levon Aronian, Jeff Bezos, not spelled very well, with 7 spelling mistakes. Yeah, Archer has grown. Yeah, all right, you guys are smarter than usual. It still hasn't said that I'm streaming?
Good.
Oh, it does, yeah.
You should think of a game maybe they might remember.
Conor McGregor, Kevin Spacey, Kevin Durant. Wow. I don't think you're Kevin Durant. But you are tall. What are you, 6'2"?
6'3".
Yeah, so maybe you are Kevin Durant. Well, okay, maybe
There've
not.
been a few reasonable guesses.
You're not too short either.
I'm like 6 flat.
6 flat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Steph
Tall.
Curry, tall, Gus, Mel Gibson. Man, you guys are not too bright. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a better disguise. Yeah. There's 2 Kareem Abdul-Jabbars that are famous in sports, but one's more famous.
What's
Yeah.
the other one play?
Is it basketball? I think he was a college basketball player. Jimbo Matthews subscribed. Hooray. Go train. Kobe? Kobe. Yeah, you know why Kobe was always hanging around his daughter?
What is that?
He's a helicopter dad. Let's see. Greetings from South America. Is his last name Smith? His last name is
Does not
Smith.
say, no?
His last name is not Smith. So, yeah. I don't think they have any chance to know ever.
No. Oh, that guy got it.
What?
Someone got
Lonzo.
Alonso.
Wait, how does he know?
Oh, I know how he knows.
He knew because he wasn't guessing. He obviously knew.
I know how
he was too confident.
He must have known from CL.
I put on my Discord like, hey, me and Thaddeus are gonna be.
Oh, I didn't know anybody went to your Discord.
And Alonso's one of my mods.
Okay. It's Thaddeus. Go Thaddeus, but stay there.
So Alonso gets a sub then, right?
That's right. Is he a sub?
No.
Oh yeah, of course. And gift a sub. Come on, you can do it. Your credit card is destroyed. Tomorrow, if you're watching me do coverage, Ifan's going to be on before me because her picture's behind me. And then I'm on at 11 a.m. Eastern. Ifan, then me. Yeah. Did you just make a Kobe helicopter crash joke? Probably. Should I make another one? What? Go Thaddeus. What?
Stream's going down in flames.
That's right. Yeah, terrible. I saw Jesse cry. He mentioned you have some great moves dancing. That is correct. Yeah. It is 2 p.m. local time in Sochi. Is it? When I do 11 a.m., is that 2 p.m. in Sochi? No. What's wrong with you? What are you, in Iraq? Okay, it looks like Ginger GM. So you've been upgraded.
That's a good guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mr. Thaddeus here, which is not his name, but definitely don't call him Dan. He drove here for hours and hours and hours and hours, played in the Blitz tournament, lost his first 3 games, then he won his last 3 games. So if we had 3 more rounds, he would have gotten 2 points per round, and he would have won the tournament. But that didn't happen. Yeah. Is the guy in the gray shirt Mahmoud? No.
Wow.
Maybe. Yeah. Bobby Fischer? Suspicious. Okay, so I want to tell you that we were talking about... Why did I bring up traumatic story? Oh, yeah. Okay. So Karen was in here, and we were talking about the Jerry Lewis telethon, because I was like, give these guys laptops so they can donate while they're watching. Anyway... Then it reminded me of 2 traumatic experiences when I was a kid, and then you guys are all going to laugh and laugh and laugh. Okay. But, I'm American, so, what do you want? Now, the second traumatic experience, I'm just reminded of because of the first one. They're not related, but it's 2 traumatic. Okay. So, when I was a kid, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, TV had 4 channels or something. So, every morning I would wake up and I would watch cartoons because that's what I did. That's how I rolled. And when the telethon came on, that was the worst day of my life every year. Because I'm like, what is this crap? I want to watch cartoons. So every day, whenever it was the telethon day, I hated it. Now this is terrible. It's Labor Day, and my birthday's usually around Labor Day. I'm September 6th. So I hated it. But then, when I got older, 9 to 16, usually the Michigan Open is over Labor Day, and by usually I mean always. So I would play in that. And then I wasn't bothered by it. But when I was younger, didn't play in it, I was really, it was traumatic. I'm like, oh my God. I turn on the and I'm like, get out. Okay. The second traumatic experience was more traumatic. When I was 7, now this is the 1970s. So right now my parents would get arrested for doing this, but the 70s is normal. Okay. You guys don't know, you're too young. So in the 70s, there was an amusement park in Detroit, which doesn't make any sense, but there was. And my mom and dad dropped me and my brother off there, and they, I don't know what they did. They left for hours. There's no cell phones either. So I'm 7 in an amusement park by myself. And I went on a couple rides, and my brother and I think sort of split up even. Like you go that, we didn't care. So anyway, I waited in line for at least 30 minutes to go on the bumper cars. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, finally, And I get to the front, and there's a thing you have to be this tall. And it was like this, I was 3 inches short. They said you can't go on. Ugh. So then I was very, 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 very upset because I waited half an hour and I'm a little kid. Mm-hmm. So I went to the arcade, which used to exist. And I played video games the rest of the time because they couldn't kick me out. Yeah.
Yeah, those didn't sound.
Those are my traumatic experiences. Yeah, that was the 2. Yeah. Hamilton streaming subscribed. Do you need a tissue because you're crying so much?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. All right. Am I drunk or I see 3 Bens? I got 2 guns, 1 for each of you. Tombstone.
Yeah.
You see Tombstone? You didn't see any
I have seen Tombstone, but it's been a long time. I can't remember anything.
So in Tombstone, there's a scene where all the people are together, getting mad. And then he takes out a gun, and the other guy, he's the good guy. The bad guy says, he takes out a knife, and he says, "You can't shoot nothing. In fact, you're so drunk, you're probably seeing double." Then he takes out another gun. Says, "I got 2 guns," spins them, 1 for each of you. And then that's shut that guy up. All right, that was a good train except for one thing. All right, go Thaddeus, go C.L. Smith. So we're going to discuss these games. Then we're going to go to karaoke, especially Thaddeus.
No.
No. But you're going.
Yeah, I'm
We
going.
can't get you away from karaoke. Yeah. Okay. So in this position, this is from today. I have games from today and yesterday. This is from Magnus versus Wojtsazek. And in this position, White's doing well. And Black has a lot of moves, but they all lose. He chose one of the losing moves. Probably the best move, confusing the audience, is to give your queen away to 2 pieces. That's the engine move.
Yikes.
Right. And the idea is if you take with the queen, then Black is sacking the exchange. So that's got to be good, although it's good for White, but it's better than what happened. And if he takes with a rook, then we get our queen back, and it's the same exchange sack. Yeah. Now, that's probably winning for White, but that's the best engine move. Now, the best engine move isn't necessarily the most practical move, because after this, Magnus is up an exchange and an ending. The move he played is more losing, but it gives White has a lot of ways to go wrong. Okay? And it turns out this move wins instantly, and during the broadcast with Hess, I opined that this move and this move is what Magnus looked at, and he thought they both won, and he thought this one easier. And it turns out, I think Magnus didn't see Black's reply, but Magnus did see this, and he here's what he didn't calculate right, and I don't blame him. He calculated this, queen g6, obviously the rook's hanging, this, and he didn't see what to do here. And White is down a piece. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but it turns out he has more than one winning move. And rook f1 wins and rook g1 wins. And I guess he just didn't consider that because it doesn't look like this is the piece that's going to win. It looks like you got this, you got this, you got this. But yeah, rook f1 wins. It threatens rook takes f8, and then you mate here. And rook g1 wins. It threatens this. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wins. It's like you see the numbers, plus $1 billion. Okay, and I think Magnus saw this and didn't see the rook just moves over and you win. And then the other point is when Magnus played bishop c2, he probably didn't see queen f2 because that's weird. These are the moves everybody's missing in the World Cup. When people in the World Cup attack opponents' pieces and the pieces don't move away, those are the moves they miss. So I'm taking his rook, he can't give up a rook. So he probably thought like FG would be played defending the rook and win the exchange and so forth. Right, and then in this position, it's probably a draw, probably. And here, Magnus's last chance to maybe win is queen e4, which was actually suggested by Hess. And the reason this is a good winning chance is insane. Because I suggested queen f3 check, which is the engine move. Got to suggest something, right? Okay. And then here, you might think this is an ending and Black is up 2 pawns. Because this is an ending, and Black is up 2 pawns. But this is very funny. The rook's trapped, as Hess pointed out. Can you believe that rook's trapped?
That is pretty hard to believe.
Right, so that's probably why Magnus didn't play queen e4. Now, Black has a very tricky move here. Rook c8. I don't know if a human would find that. And the idea is if you take, then I play knight e5 check, and then I take that. And that's still better for White, but maybe it's a draw because 2 pawns for the exchange. Farty party. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying on the stream, Magnus is really good when you have no counterplay and the engine says he's plus 0.5 and he's squeezing you. Then he plays like an engine and you don't, so you lose. And Magnus knows that. And he was like, I want to play well when it's all crazy like this. And I have students, one of them in particular, I mean, former students, obviously. He was really, 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 really bad at quick chess. You can't understand how bad he was. And at slow chess, he's like 2100. So if he plays in slow chess tournaments, his rating goes up. If he plays game 30, game 45, he could lose to an 1100. And when I say he could, maybe they're the favorite. He doesn't move. He refuses to move. So when he's playing 40 moves in 2 hours, that's okay. But now when you're playing game in 30 and you lose on time on move 10, that's okay. So he's playing all these game 30s, and I'm like, why are you playing in game 30s when you suck? And he says, I want to get better at it. Like, I know I suck, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, and so Magnus is like, I'm good when I'm squeezing and the guy's no counterplay, but I want to be good at this. And obviously he's good, but, people like MVL and Morozevich and Shirov, when they were good, and Kasparov, this is their bread and butter. And Magnus is like, my opponent has counterplay. I'm down material. I don't do that. But he's doing it because he wants to have a universal style. Okay, so he took the exchange. Okay, although he took the rook. So that was the point, is that the queen's attacking the rook and you're trying to trade queens. And here, this should be a draw. This is actually very funny. King G8's the best move. Rook F4. Queen E1 check. And black plays for the win because black's up 2 pawns. So you play for the win. Now, this is something lower rated players don't understand. These guys are lower rated. So here's what they think. This is what they think. And they'll be like, yeah, like I'm worse than Magnus, and I'm black, and I'm drawing going to tie breaks. Yay, right? So you're black against Magnus, you draw. Are you going to draw Magnus? I don't think so. These guys never, ever, ever think like that. The guys who are 2,700 plus, they think, I'm winning, I'm losing, I'm drawing. They don't care who they're playing, right? So if they're losing to me, they're choking on their own rage, right? If they're beating Magnus, they don't draw because, he's Magnus. Ooh, okay. He literally doesn't care that it's Magnus. So he plays here because play for a win. Now, this is very, very, very funny, and you guys don't know this. Several times during the last 2 streams, when I say several, like 3, Hess would suggest a move in some game, and it hung a piece. And every time he did, it was a good move. It was an accident, right? I mean, he didn't mean to hang a piece, but it turned out it was okay.
Yeah.
So here, Robert suggested queen h3, hanging the knight would check. And then I said, your knight's hanging with check. And he's like, oh my God. And then I said, but whenever you suggest a move hanging a piece, it's fine. So he played queen h3 way before it was played in the game. And the engine didn't move. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's a draw. Because you're threatening bishop e6 check, and you're threatening queen h7. You can't stop them both. So you have to just perpetual. What's funny is you have to pin your own rook after you blunder a piece. Because if you play king g1, I play queen d4 check, and you're not threatening bishop e6 check. You see what I'm saying?
No, okay.
Yeah, there's no fork here. Then I just stop mate. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
So the only way to draw is to blunder a piece and then pin your own rook. And now it's a draw. Because otherwise, white's going to do one of those things. Yeah. So even when Hess blunders a piece with check, he's so good at chess, it's still the right move.
Wow.
Yeah. And now they go to tie breaks. And a lot of people, if you can call them people, when they're watching the streams, they got grandmasters telling them what to do. They got 7 engines running in the background. And they're like, why'd Magnus go there? Why doesn't he play my engines moves? Yeah, you guys are the worst. Okay. Then after the game, it probably says he played 99 or something. Because the game's complicated. Yeah. But that's amazing because when certain people like Wojtsazek and Fedoseev, Nepomniachtchi, Caruana, they're not like, oh no, it's Magnus. That's just what you guys do. Right? And according to my friend Wes Berger, who was on the stream once, he was a master before your grandfathers were born. Okay? Yeah, I might be right. Wes is pretty old. Okay? But anyway, he said the reason Fischer was so good is not only was he good, but people were like, I got to play Fischer. No. And grandmasters, when they had white, they knew Fischer was going to play for the win on move 1, which doesn't happen now a lot in the Super GM level.
Yeah.
You have to relax a little bit. You're playing Radjabov, you're not scared. You're like, Radjabov, I'll try to win, and if I don't, I'll draw. Right? Radjabov wants to draw. Fischer wants to win with black against people his own strength. And so it's not always like, oh no, it's Magnus, I resign. Some of these guys are like, yeah, whatever, gotta play somebody. Okay. Next. Okay, this is very funny. usually I bet on the player whose name I can't pronounce. So this match was 50-50.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I got
Yeah. Now,
no guess.
normally what I do is when somebody beats the absolute hell out of me, I root for them so I don't feel so bad. If somebody beats me in the World Open or Chicago Open or US Open, whatever, US Championship, and they just crush me, then the next rounds in tournaments, they just lose all their games. I'm like, ugh. But if they win all their games, I'm like, all right. Durabavli 2 years ago, I lost 2 games in the World Open to him and to Ilya Nizhnik. I was crushing Ilya Nizhnik. I was like +4. And then I got in time trouble. After time trouble was a draw. Then I got in time trouble again, and then I hung everything. So I lost to Nizhnik, but I outplayed him the whole game. And when I told people said, how'd you do? And I said I lost, they were surprised. Other gyms are like, you lost that position? I'm like, ugh. Okay. Durabavli just I wasn't in the game. I just lost like it was nothing. And so then when Durabavli won with black against Abdusattorov, I was like, okay. Now this kid's like, I don't know, 9 years old or 10. I'm kidding, he's like 16.
Where are these players from?
He's from Uzbekistan, and he's from Azerbaijan, but he's lived in the U.S. for a long time because he was a student at one of, Texas or this, what do they call it? Webster, I think Webster.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he plays in the U.S. all the time, and he's never been, actually, I think he was in the U.S. at some St. Louis. Okay. Anyway, so in this position, it's clear that white should make a building improving move. So the engine says bishop e2, f3 defending the pawn or preparing g4, or king b1. Okay? But he fell victim to, if I draw, I win the match because he won yesterday. So he's like, how do I draw? Okay, that's not how you play chess. Especially him. He plays crazy. So he played e5 double question mark, and now he's worse. He's like, hey, we trade everything, draw, hurry for me. And he totally missed knight g4, and after knight g4, he thought like 30 minutes. You could see how you'd miss that. When I say he missed it, he totally misunderstood this move. Okay, because you're attacking the queen, and the queen is defending against this winning fork. Right? So you can't lose your queen. You can't play this, which you want to play, because then you resign. You're just down a rook. Yeah. Okay. So he played queen d2, which he played queen. I'm sorry. So he didn't play because of this. He has to play queen d2 if he plays this. Okay. And now you take here, and if you take with the queen, the engine likes black because I'm winning in exchange. You can't take this because then black is slightly better. Thanks, Snackor, for the sub. So you have to take this way, and then, this isn't fun for white because, his king is no good, right? So the engine says white's okay here, but opposite side castling, the king is terrible. Black has what he wants. So he thought 30 minutes here about what to do after knight g4, and he played bishop g3, always retreat. And the problem with that move is this is just 2 bishops for nothing and chicks for free. Yeah. This is just, I have 2 bishops, I have a leading development, and, you'd rather have black. So when you have the white pieces, you're not like trying to play for a draw, especially when you're Durabavli. He likes to fight. Okay, so the game went on and on and on and on and on. Like, who sings that? Stephen who? Might not be Stephen, then I'm wrong.
I don't even know if I know the song you're talking about.
On and on, he just keeps on resigning.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he keeps hanging his pieces on and on. Did you see the movie? Oh, you didn't see any movies. Did you see Tootsie?
No.
Dustin Hoffman?
No.
At the end of the movie, they play that. Yeah. It's not Steve Perry. Who sings that? It's somebody that nobody's ever heard of. He's a songwriter, and he actually sang that song. Usually they just write the song and somebody else sings it. Stephen Bishop. That's correct. Yeah. Okay.
Good name.
Right. So let's go to the end. This is the end, my friend.
I know that
the end. Right. Okay. So where's rook d3 at? There it is. Okay. So this is the same game, right? It's also the same deviled egg. Okay, just in case you weren't sure. All right. Stephen Knight. Well, maybe. Okay. Don't Stop Believing. No, that's Steve Perry.
Stephen King. That's a good.
Yeah, one deviled egg. Okay, by the way, this Crumbopulous Michael, did either one of you know, have either one of you heard of Steve McQueen?
Yes.
Okay, now, have either one of you heard of both Steve McQueens?
No.
Okay, one is a white guy who's not alive who was a famous actor. The other one is a black guy, and actually, I think he died really young, unless he's alive. And he's a famous director, and he won like Academy Award for Best Director. Steve McQueen. Although I think he died young, but maybe he's alive and I'm wrong. You guys can check that. Yeah, director, very good. Also Steve McQueen. Yeah, I think he's British. Okay, so this position, obviously white's worse. White's down a pawn. White has double pawns, isolated pawns. And I have a rule, which everybody ignores because they like to ignore my rules. Everybody thinks in these, well, this is the same color bishops, so everybody thinks the black's winning. Opposite color bishops, everybody thinks it's a draw when it never is. Okay, and in this position, white played rook d3. Well, that wasn't the blunder. The blunder was later. Okay. I thought that was the blunder. The blunder's coming. All right. Now, I like the way black is doing literally nothing. Perfect. Okay. And in this position, black always retreated with bishop e8 and defending the f-pawn. Okay. Now white got lax. This game should take forever to finish. And white, very astute of him, played bishop d5. Because if the bishop's here, eventually I'll sack the exchange and I'll take these pawns and I'll get like 3 queens. But I can't sack the exchange because the bishop's not there. And this is defended a million times. This is defended, and this is on this, and this is defending it. So very good drawing chances for white. I think black should win, but it should take like 70 moves. And he made immediate blunder. It's really nice. And the psychological reason he blundered is why you blundered. Once you play here, you're literally not afraid of your c2 pawn getting attacked. But if the bishop's here, if this rook moves away, we can attack it with rooks and bishops. Okay. So he played rook d3, double question mark. The game's over. Because now, when I attack that, you can't defend it. You can't defend with the bishop because it's illegal. If you go here, I check. You can't move your king because your rook's hanging. And if you go here, I go here. So I'm gonna play either bishop here or rook here, or I'm gonna play either bishop here or rook here or both, and you can't defend this, and you get crushed. So this is just a horrible blunder. After this, it's over. There's no play for white. You can't save this, right, sweetie?
I guess I just want to.
Yeah. Okay. So Durabavli played bishop f3, stopping, doubling up on the bubble up. Bishop a4, and the truth hurts. This threatening mate with advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he checked. So his king has an escape square. And then he took a pawn because the rook left the pawn. Right? So So he's almost mated. And this is a very good move. This move was first recommended by Nirvana, and then it was played after it was played by Nirvana. Then Stone Temple Pilots did it.
The one that we're not supposed to say on the stream?
What?
Which one? I don't know what song it is that they redid.
There's one song with the same title they both sang. Different song. It just has the same
I
title.
was assuming you meant like Stone Temple Pilots covered it.
Starts with an R?
No.
Oh.
It's a song by both of them. Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know what it's.
Wait, what did I say? Did I say Nirvana? I meant Radiohead.
Now I have less of a chance.
Okay, it's Radiohead and Stone Temple Pilots. I just got great bands confused.
That's Creep.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
It's Creep.
Yeah.
Right. Plush is a funny answer. Yes, sorry, I got the wrong band. Okay, so in this position, okay, this king has nowhere to go, right? But I can't check him anywhere. This hangs a rook, this hangs a rook, this hangs a rook, this hangs a rook, right? So black played the creeping move. King f4, threatening mate. There's a lot of ways to stop it, okay? You could hold your opponent's arms down so they can't move. Mm-hmm. You could kick your opponent and they have to go to the hospital because they kicked him really hard. Or you can do what he did.
I was going to suggest f4 for black, but I realize there's a problem with that.
It's illegal, yeah. Right. He resigned. By the way, the engine move is to give your rook away for nothing. Now, the only move that makes any sense is to take this so your king has the d4 square. but then mate. So, I mean, for a player of that ilk, Rook D3 is just unbelievably bad because the game's over. After this, it's resigns. And otherwise, the game's going to go like 50 more moves, and if he draws somehow, he wins the match. Now, a lot of you think somebody like me, a grandmaster, we're good at losing because we have experience, and we you know, what's Taylor Swift? We shake it off, and no problem, okay? But in the World Cup, when you can win and win the match, or draw and win the match, and you have, you know, you're doing well, and then you don't do it, you're unhappy, very unhappy. And we've seen like Nils Grandelius and Hari Krishna and Durabavli here not being happy when the game was over. So Durabavli, when the game ended, he like ran away. And the arbiter's like, can you sign? I mean, he left. So I don't think he signed the score sheets. I mean, he's like, get me out of here. Yeah. And they're like, you have to take a COVID test. And I think he beat them up. He's like, leave me alone. Yeah. I mean, they don't like, because he's white. The guy plays the Philidor. He's slightly better. And then he like has to grovel the whole game and then makes a move that loses immediately. So he was not happy. Right. And then he's playing a kid in a rapid game. I don't know about that. So this is Nodirbek Abdusattorov, your favorite, against Vasif Durabavli, your other favorite. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Rook here, like weakening, and the psychological reason is like, oh, that bishop's not attacking my pawn anymore, so this Rook is free to, you know, whatever. Not good. Radiohead. Never get into Radiohead. Now, I should ban him for that. I should ban him for thinking a lot is one word, etc. Okay. Now, Fedoseev doesn't know how to play for a draw. Okay, and he's playing Kovalev. Fedoseev won the first game. The second game, Fedoseev's playing like a lunatic, but he's playing instantly. He always plays instantly. Okay, if you watch Title Tuesday and Arena Kings and other Blitz tournaments on chess.com, one of the few guys who beats Hikaru occasionally is Fedoseev. Because the Fedoseev just always plays instantly. So he's not losing on time to Hikaru. He might lose on the board, but he might not. He's really good tactically. Now you can see the engine evaluation. White is tiny little better, or maybe tiny little worse if he doesn't play right. Okay? Problem is, which you don't know from looking at this, but I'll tell you, is white has no time and black has over an hour. White's got less than 5 minutes and black has because it's move 23 in the most complicated game ever. If others moves really fast. So it's, and by the way, Fischer and Hikaru and some other people, a lot of people are saying they've played really fast and their opponents had no time. Anand, oh my God. Anand, 25, 30 years ago, he just moved instantly. In a slow game, he'd take 10 minutes. And he's 2,700 strength doing that. Okay, ridiculous. And he analyzes everything. So it's like Fedoseev. Okay, consequently, Fedoseev does stuff like this, and then Fedoseev does some bad stuff. We haven't seen the bad stuff, so he's just crushing everybody. Okay, so white loses very quickly. Knight c3, a very bad move. The best move is to always retreat. Queen e1, get your queen out of there, or trade, and then I can have a better endgame. Okay, that's the best move. It's very hard to find. You're not looking for a move like that. But you have to save your knight. So this is bad. a5 attacking the queen. And queen d4 is the best at centralization, but he's going for the d-pawn. And now, this is funny. White made a couple innocuous moves, and look what the engine says.
Ooh, that's...
It's like white can resign. And the reason white can resign is it's not that the queen isn't going to win those pawns. The queen's going to get trapped. Okay, so he plays knight f5, defending his pawn. What's the long-term situation for this queen? It gets trapped. So what he has to do here is move his queen like here and try to get out. You know, horrible. But he continues. He's like, I got to win. He loses the match. And even if he plays the right move, it says black is +5. Because this bishop is terrible. This knight's great. These pawns are weak. Here comes an attack. That king is safe. The rook is on the open file, controlling it. These rooks are shallow and pedantic. Okay, so he plays for winning the d-pawn. And he's like, you know, you're not taking the d-pawn. And then this is really nice, queen d8. The engine doesn't like it. It says it's winning, but I just like it because it traps the queen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a retreating move. Yeah, and now...
And White was supposed to play queen e1 earlier, so...
Yeah, right. So then he tried, but he failed miserably. Yeah. I mean, he lost without a fight because he didn't have any time on his clock. And now it's a queen and a piece versus 2 rooks. And the pawn's not dangerous because the rooks can't go anywhere. The rooks can never get in here. There's no squares to come in. And you can't attack the knight and take it because you can't. And if you could, so your rook could come in here, then this pawn can't be defended. So if you push the pawn, I just go take it. So he tried and he failed miserably. The lesson is never try. And then, yeah, okay, and he resigned here because it's down a piece. So Fedoseev 2-0, and when the game ended on move 35, his opponent had seconds and he had over an hour. Yeah, I hate when that happens. It's happened to me too. I drew a game with Hikaru the only time we played a slow game, and at move 40, I made the time control with less than a minute, and he had an hour left. And then I drew, but I mean, the game was super complicated. But he literally didn't care. Let's see, my daughter texted me and said her cat says hi. Well, somebody's got to say hi. See?
Yeah.
That's my daughter's cat.
It does look like it's saying hi.
Says hi. I don't know about that. All right. Yeah, I think maybe her cat's hi. Okay, so Fedoseev is through. Okay, now this game, White was crushing Black, but Black's 2,700, defends well, never gives up. And, okay. Now, in this position, White sacrificed the bishop, which is correct. It's not really a sacrifice because the pawn's overworked, right? Mm-hmm. So he says, I'll take a pawn, a desperado. Okay, who sings it?
Eagles.
Very good. You knew that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so take, and then check. And then White's having all the fun. White didn't even sacrifice anything, right?
Yeah.
So this looks like completely hopeless. This move's actually is fine because we got to get all of our pieces involved. And this stops Black from defending this way. And, we have a lot of rooks that can come in here and so forth. Okay, so he always play bishop f8. Takes. And now, don't fall out of your seat. Watch this move, Karen. Watch this move. Okay? No, I'm serious. Karen's going to be like, what? He played rook takes rook. Black did.
Right, go back. I can
Yeah. Black played rook takes d1.
Okay.
And you take back on d1. Mm-hmm. Or you go here. Whoa, I went back. Or you go here.
And that was a shot.
Check, and then rook e4. Always repeat. He's like, yeah, I'm a rook down. But rook g4 is annoying.
That does seem annoying.
Right. If you play h5, putting it in h, check, and then rook comes mates. Mm. Yeah. So after rook e4, most of you would resign because you get mated. All right, see you later.
Hey, are you guys coming to see later?
What's that?
Later?
Yeah.
When are you coming?
When I'm done?
After 10?
Yeah, we'll probably be done about 10. Okay. Now, you guys are pretty good. How do you stop that without cheating?
Let's
Correct.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem so easy if you're telling me h5 doesn't work.
Yeah.
You could rook d4.
Rook d4.
Yeah.
That's the guy who won his last 3 games. Go Thaddeus, even though he's Dan. Okay. Now, the point is, when I take well, he repeats first, obviously. When he takes the rook, now his knight's then on f5. So now we can stop rook g4 mate because the knight is here. It looks like a temporary solution, but better than no solution. So he goes here, the only move, and he stops rook g4. Okay. Now I think he repeated. No, he can't repeat again. He played knight f5. Now, the reason he played queen a6 instead of queen d7, with the same idea of stopping rook g4, is here I can go check and check and check and check. Here, if I play here and I go check king b1, that's it. So when he played here, he was stopping this, and he's trying to give some checks. Now, this is amazing. White's not down material here. He still didn't win.
Wow.
Because we play 2,700, they fight. Now, the best move is rook here. And we get to a similar kind of position, threatening this. But he played knight f5, which also wins. Okay. Obviously, if king b1, we queen f1, queen a6. You have to go here. Okay, and here he made a mistake. And after this move, he's not winning. There's 2 legal moves, and he still made the wrong one. Yeah, chess is hard, right? Tough being in time trouble. King c3 eventually wins, and the way it wins looks crazy like Fox News. After here, check, you go here. I mean, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't care if it wins, but too bad. Now I win. You can't. And checks run out. When my king gets over here, it's just an easy win. There's no checks, and I'm a pawn up and mate and so forth. Okay, but instead of that, he played rook takes c4, which also looks like it wins because I'm still threatening mate. It does not win. Now it's a draw. Okay, so he checked. He's check, and he can't escape the checks. He tried, but he failed miserably. Check. And we analyzed this position, me and Robert Hess, before it happened. And I was like, well, it looks like black resigns. And Hess found queen takes g2, stopping rook g4 check. Another temporary solution, but now we have more checks like queen f3. And now black's up a pawn. This is crazy that white just doesn't have mate here. Okay, so he played rook d7. Now it's an easier draw, but he made it tough. Okay, check, check. Now black made a mistake, but it's not a mistake. It's only the engine thinks it's a mistake, but the engine's wrong. So here, after queen here, it's just all zeros. Nobody, just perpetual on the queen or something. And he made a move the engine doesn't like, queen g6, because it loses the queen. But it's a draw anyway. So the reason it loses the queen, this is very interesting. White played the brilliant, in time trouble, queen go back again. Queen d4 threatening rook g1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I see how queen g4 stops queen d4, but what's wrong with queen? Why can't white still win like this? What's the difference? Difference is black goes here threatening mate. And when you pin my queen, I just take it, it's a draw. I just keep checking with my rook. Mm-hmm. And you can't take my rook because I take on g1 with check. That's crazy. So queen g2 draws, queen g4 draws. Andreikin's in time trouble, plays queen g6. The engine thinks white's winning now, but white is not winning. Now, this is a draw, and the reason it's a draw is this pawn never wins. You got to keep these pawns. You can't keep the pawns because black sacks the bishop. And I was explaining to Robert, who I think already knew, and he trusted me if he didn't. Mm-hmm. In the endgame that happened, even without this pawn, it's a draw, which will actually shock you. So he just gave up his b pawn because he didn't care. He defends this, his rook stays here, and nothing happens. You just chill. And when white ever tries to make a queen, you just take the 2 pawns. You can never play c5 because it's defended. So the way to win is to go c3, b4, and get a passed pawn. Then you just take it and sack your bishop. And that's what happened, I think. Yeah. And then I was telling Robert Hess, if this pawn's gone, it's still a draw, which I learned in 1984.
I mean, I'm shocked it's a draw as
right.
it is.
and this is an easy draw. This is just this is nothing. Yeah.
You can never get in there.
Right, and there's no reason ever to take this. You can take it, but there's no reason to.
Yeah.
You just chill. They agree to a draw here because you can't. There's no winning chance.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. Yeah, rook goes here. You can never sack your queen for rook and a pawn and win because of this.
Yeah.
So I go here. Check me. I move my king, and I go here. In some of these endings, like if the pawn is somewhere else, then you can sometimes sack your queen for everything and win the king and pawn ending. You can never win the king and pawn ending.
And you can't short it up.
And you can never get your king here. You can never get, and even if you could, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it's still, yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. It's a draw. Yeah. So he drew that position that looked like he was going to resign, and now they go to playoffs. Tough defense. He found like queen c8, and he found all the right defensive was queen takes g2, and he drew, which is crazy because man was he lost. God damn. Yeah. Okay. Now this position, black looks very, very, very passive. Very. And he needs to draw to win the match because he won yesterday. Martirosyan, he's the guy who beat Mamedyarov.
Oh, okay.
So he's not as bad as he plays.
Yeah.
Okay. And this looks like white has good winning chances to me because white's pressing and black's like, help. Okay, but bishop f8. Okay, so watch what he does to get active. Attacks the queen. Then he plays a funny move. Not necessarily the best move, but the funniest. b5. confusing the audience. You can't take en passant because you lose your queen. And then he just keeps playing more and more actively. His pieces come alive with the sound of music. Every move he makes goes forward and attacks white. He just keeps going forward. So he went from like really passive to like super aggressive. And with the pawn on h4, you're just never going to win because that sucks. I mean, terrible. And this pawn's not dangerous, so black drew from a position of strength because, draw wins the match. Never play f3. And, black could play for a win. It says black's winning, right? Mm-hmm. And black's up material. Black's up 2 pawns. His knight's good. The king is open. But he, draw and I win the match. But that was amazing. Like, his pieces all sucked. And then, roar. 999. Thanks, Linder. I did clone myself. That's right. That way I can wake up late. Yeah, they can do the work for me.
You've seen that Futurama?
I've seen every Futurama.
Where Bender clones himself, but
And they're the little clones and they eat the alcohol. Yeah, I've seen every Futurama a million times. Yeah, I memorized every second of every episode. Yeah.
I guess you have seen that one.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah, if the question is, have you seen this Futurama episode, the answer is yes. Yeah. I'm not saying I know a lot about it, but, I do. Yeah. Okay, that's why I moved to Roswell, because my favorite episode was Roswell That Ends Well. And then when I found out there was the wrong Roswell, I'm already here, so, right? Mm-hmm. You watch Futurama?
I've seen a few episodes.
You seen Roswell That Ends Well?
That's one of the best episodes.
It used to be my favorite. I'm not saying it's not now. Yeah. Werekar's pretty good, too.
I never liked that one that much.
The Werekar?
Yeah.
It's got calculin in it, not for much. Yeah.
Because he's a Werekar.
Anyone with calculin is great. Yeah. Especially when he dies. That's a great episode. When he dies and goes to robot hell, and the devil can't stand him. He's like, all right, go back and go be alive. Get out of here.
That's one of the newer seasons.
Yeah, that's a great episode. Then he dies again.
Yes.
And the devil's like, no. And anyway, Calculon tells the devil, I'm going to do this and that. And the devil says, haven't these people suffered enough? The people in hell. Yeah, the robot devil is a great character, man. Okay. All right. I wanted to show this whole game because it was funny. Now, one thing you guys don't know is that certain people, if you can call them people, MVL and Fabiano Caruana, god damn, they know a lot of theory. And like every opening, they know everything all the way to the end. Because they play chess 10 hours a day with coaches and computers.
Yeah.
And you don't do that.
No, I don't.
No. And they're good anyway. Yeah. But, I mean, it seemed like Praggnanandhaa out-prepared MVL, and MVL's like, good position for white. He's like, whatever. I literally don't care. So they played this opening, which I know the opening exists. Here white can play either knight b5 or take. This will transpose to Sveshnikov usually. And I've actually almost played this with black. I've analyzed it a lot, 15 years ago. And then this is just theory. This actually happened in the tournament already.
King e2.
Yeah.
I would never think.
Well, because you
got, yeah.
You don't think about it. It's just this is theory.
Right.
There's 1,000 grandmaster games. Yeah. Okay. And this is all the theory and the preparation of the players. White gets the 2 bishops. And black's positions, this is a funny move, but you want to get your bishop out and move your king. And if nothing happens over the next 10 moves, black is strategically lost.
And he's preparing to castle.
2 bishops, all the dark squares. This can't move, can't castle. Bishop's no good. But again, this is all prep. So black plays c5, sacking a pawn, because, man, it looks good. Mm-hmm. And MVL's like, black has counterplay, but 2 bishops on extra pawn. And somehow he went from French to Russian. It was weird. Yeah. Okay, still prep. And Praggnanandhaa playing faster than MVL because that's what kids do. When kids are in prep, they just move instantly. And MVL memorized everything in every line, so he's making sure he's playing the right line. He's like, wait, do I do this or do I do this? And he was telling us in this position, which he already knew, he said, in these positions, either you go here and here, or you go here, here, and here. And he's trying to figure out which one you do. And he was like, I don't like this because queen a5 attacks my a pawn, and then e5 is defended. So he's like, I didn't like that, so I played the other way, right? So he knew that this was theory, or his prep, without knowing that it was exactly the prep, because he's like, it's one of these lines, okay, it has to be this one.
And we're on move 20.
Now, right, and Prague is still in prep. Prague's moving instantly. Okay. Now here, he's like, yes, black has good compensation, but I have 2 bishops and an extra pawn, so he's required by law to play white, because got to play white. Okay. And what black has to do is prove that he has compensation. And that's the problem with sacrificing in chess, is you're forced to be really accurate and aggressive. And if you just play random legal moves, which you can easily do when you don't sacrifice material, then you're lost. 2 bishops, extra pawn, white just wins. So black has to, and the engine already doesn't like this move. B3, king B2, Papa John's. Okay. So he has to open it up. Okay. Trade queens, winning endgame. So he's like, no. King B2. I mean, king looks pretty safe. That's.
I like all the bishops stacked up like that.
Yeah. Okay. So now knight D5 because he's Praggnanandhaa. That's how he rolls. Mm-hmm. And that move's not very good, but it's genius to even see that move. That's amazing. Yeah, and the idea is, you want to take the bishop and get your knight active, and so you have to take it. And then here, this is actually pretty funny. After the game, he was explaining to us how he was going to lose. He didn't know it until we told him. He was like, yes, after this, I had to sacrifice my queen, but after this, I couldn't decide whether to sack my queen and play queen d6. So I was going to play queen d6 probably, okay, instead of losing the queen like he did in the game. 500 centidues. That move loses immediately. This move's bad. Wait, was it this position? Because the engine said that black was winning here. Rook takes. Wait, what was the line? Oh, it was rook b8, but it's not saying rook b8. But I guess I have the lines confused. Oh, bishop d1, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I have the lines confused. Threatening rook takes a2 and queen b3 mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, I have the lines confused. Maybe it was rook takes. Okay, hold on. Then probably he was suggesting some bishop move that lost to rook b8. I don't know. Here? Yes, okay. He said he was thinking about doing this, and then after this he resigns. There's nothing you can do now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go here. Pre-move. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh. This was his intention if the guy played rook a c8. Now this is a blunder that loses to rook b8, so he would have seen that. He could still draw with rook e1. But anyway, but after rook f c8, then he decided it's time to sack the queen, which is, sort of forced. Because you don't want rook c2 check and your king's running up the board. Okay. Now, without doing any analysis, my general feeling is that white is better here. Because rook, bishop, and pawn for a queen, which is about equivalent, but that d pawn is really good. And you can't take it, which I pointed out in the stream, because you take this and play bishop c4. And if you can't take it, that pawn might queen, and in the game, that pawn did queen. So you can't let that pawn queen. But, I'm going to play rook here, and bishop here, and pawn here, and, I'm going to... And the king is perfectly safe. So Praggnanandhaa, if it's a supercomputer, probably black can draw, but it's really hard to play black because your queen's no good. It's not going anywhere, and that's the winning plan. Okay, h6, computer hates that move. Bishop g2, rook d1. That's a spicy meatball. Queen e4 is also a blunder. It looks good because you're doing all that. You like when they're lined up.
Yeah,
so yeah. But that's a blunder because I just check and play d7. So he and then the game's over. Rook c8 check. Mm-hmm. The game's over.
Yeah, king h7 doesn't look good.
Yeah, you're right, because you lose your queen. Yeah. All right. And then resigns. He played d6, d7, d8. And now he's up a rook. Yeah, so he resigned. Wow. So, that was funny, though, because he sacrificed his queen, and then black sacrificed a queen, because white got a queen.
So, did MVL move on? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he drew the first game, and he won this one. He analyzed it with us, too. He was talking to us.
Yeah.
And I've known MVL for a long time. And I have a really good MVL story. It makes me look good. And then I got crushed, but I still look good. So I've told this story before, but you guys forgot.
I think I know the story.
Oh, yeah. So we're in St. Louis, and the tournament's over, like Singfield Cup, I guess. Yeah, otherwise, why is MVL there? And everybody's there. And Grishuk, everybody's hanging out in the club. And they won't let people in who are normal people, only like the players and GMs. So it's just like all GMs. And they're all intoxicated except me. I didn't have any alcohol that night. So, like, everybody's playing blitz chess for money or not for money, like the good players. And Alejandro said, Ben, we never played one game of chess. I've known him for like 10 years. We never played a fun, never. So he's like, let's play. So we set up for 1 minute. And then before we start, a group of people comes and says, well, what's the wager? And we're like, we're not betting. So then they're like, no. So then they're all making side bets. Yeah. Like there's like 10 of them. Yeah. And they're like, okay, who wants to bet on Alejandro? And then as cricket came in, and then MVL, who's never seen me play, said, no, I bet on Ben. So somehow he knew. And then Grishuk is like, oh, I'll bet on Alejandro. And then they start laughing. So everybody bet Grishuk. Grishuk bet like 7 people. Yeah. Okay. And Aviv Friedman, who I talk about a lot in the stream, he says, you ever seen Ben play 1 minute? And he said, no. And he says, well, now you're going to see. Yeah. So we played whoever wins 5 games first, and I won 5-0.
Good score.
And then, like, during the last game, he's paying everybody. And what's funny is about that, so he lost a few hundred. That game that day, the last round, he was winning, and he ended up losing, and that cost him like $30,000.
This is Grishuk still?
Yeah, he lost $30,000 that day by losing a winning position.
Yeah, so a few hundred, I mean.
Yeah, so it might have been more than 30,000. It wasn't good. Yeah, tough day. Yeah. Okay, after I played Alejandro, MVL said, can I play you? Yeah. Like, begging me to play him. Yeah. I'm like, what? So I'm like, all right. So we sit down, and one of the St. Louis people who comes to the club a lot, he's a St. Louis guy. He's like, I'm going to bet on Ben. And I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm betting on you. I said, don't do that. And then, I mean, he was the only one who would bet on me. Yeah. So people wanted to bet him. Okay. First game, I destroyed MVL. I mean, I beat him like I never beat anybody. Dang. Right? Then, MVL beat me 4 in a row. Okay, and I wasn't doing well those games. So he's up 4-1, first to win 5. The next game, I'm losing. I won on time when I had 1 second left. The next game I'm losing, I won on time when I had 1 second left. And everybody's going insane. Everybody's going insane. And Lawrence Trent says, you're one of the top 10 1-minute players in the world. And I said, I know it, but I'm not. Okay.
This is still first to 5?
Right. Okay. So now I'm down 4-3, and then he just destroyed me the last game. It wasn't good. Yeah. So that was fun, because then everybody, that's awesome. Now the top players all know who, they don't even know anyway, but they got to see me play. Yeah. 1 minute in real life, I'm very fast. 1 minute on the internet, I'm not really fast.
So what would you like guess your OTB 1 minute?
No, now
ranking?
This was a few years at my peak.
Yeah, ranking
top 20 in the world.
Top 20. Okay.
Yeah, I was known. Everybody knew I was good at 1 minute. Yeah, I mean I was really fast, and I used to see stuff. I don't see anything now. I can still play fast, but I can't see anything. So let me tell you how good I was at 1 minute. When Hikaru won his first U.S. championship, we played a 1 minute match on a board on real life, and I beat him 9-8.
Wow. I've heard Hikaru's pretty good at bullet too.
Yeah. Now if we played, I'd lose like 100-0 if we played like 10 games. Like 10 games are over, you're down 100-0, and I hang my head in shame. Now in 2011, we were doing something at AT&T downtown in St. Louis. We do every year. It's like a fundraiser. I don't know. So I always give a blindfold simul, and the reason is no other GMs will give a blindfold simul. They can, they just don't want to. They're like, what if it's like embarrassing if you fuck up? Yeah. So I don't care. So I give the blindfold simul, and Hikaru's doing a regular simul against actually good players. He's playing some A players and experts. My simul is against like the guy who runs AT&T. So I gave like a 3 or 5 board simul, I forgot, and I won every game. And before we did that, someone in the crowd, or maybe it was Joy, said, hey, why don't you and Hikaru play some 1 minute, and because that would be exciting for everybody. And I'm like, won't be exciting for me because I'll get my ass kicked. Okay, so we did. We played 5 1-minute games, and he beat me 3-2. He was very unhappy because he should beat me 5-0. Yeah. But I was like, I gotta, people are watching. Right. And the 2 games I won, I destroyed him. I mean, he just lost all his pieces. The other 3 games I don't remember because I'm just expecting to lose 5-0. Yeah. But I didn't lose 5-0. I should have. Okay. Next. Okay.
Know what a slime law is.
What happened? Wu-Tex clan subscribed. Hooray!
What's a slime law?
What's a a slime wall. It's sort of like a simul. In Europe, they call it a simul. Simultaneous. It's short for simultaneous. You're playing people simultaneously. Like in the picture behind me. Right behind me, I'm playing a simul. And I'm standing, move, then I go to another board. Okay, a blindfold is when you don't look and you still play. That's too exciting. If you want to see a good example of that, try to go to a Timur Gareev blindfold simul where he's playing dozens of people at the same time blindfold.
Yeah, what's his record? It's
good.
It's like something insane.
Right, yeah, he played like 50 people.
Yeah.
What people don't understand, and they never will, is people who are really, 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 really good at something, doesn't matter what it is, they're so much better than a normal person, the normal person doesn't understand. So like somebody who's the best bridge players in the world, compared to average bridge players, it's like God versus a 2-year-old. I mean, the difference in knowledge and understanding is not something that they can even understand, the bad players. Yeah. They don't even understand how much worse they are.
Yeah.
And I do because I'm pretty good at bridge, like maybe 1800 at chess-wise, and I've seen the best players play. And then at chess, Magnus and all the top players can do things you can't even understand because you don't see that happen. They play each other and they draw in 10 moves. But if you played them, all of a sudden, they don't draw in 10 moves. All of a sudden, they win in 10 moves because they're so good. They're so good. I mean, they can see like a dozen moves ahead in like 2 seconds, and it's right. And it's ridiculous. When you're the best in the world at something, it's not easy because there's a lot of people in the world. Mm-hmm. So when you're the best, it's insanely good. It doesn't even make any sense.
I used to be guilty. This was probably like years ago. I was guilty of thinking like an NM, like who cares? Like show me the GM games. And then when I actually play an NM online, then I was like, yeah, this guy's a billion times better than I.
Until he plays a GM, then that guy's.
But there's just like this huge.
Indo spectrum. Queen, thanks for the raid with 23. Dr. Pepper.
What's up, Indo Queen?
Yeah. The unknown unknowns. Okay, now this is how good Sam Shankland is. Okay, this game ended in a draw, and you're like, well, of course it ended in a draw. Rook and 3 against Rook and 3, and it is a draw, and you would both lose it in a slow game against the Grandmaster.
Yes.
Okay, and the reason is White has to play accurately to draw, not your strong suit. Okay, and he just plays perfect every move, and it looks like it's nothing. But if he didn't, okay, first of all, only 2 moves draw here. Every other move loses. Like there's like 25 legal moves and 2 of them draw. Okay, and he played the best one, which is to immediately give up this pawn. And the reason is, if Rook takes, we're going to transpose. Thanks for the subscription. We check. If the king goes back, it can never go up. And if it goes up, I go here, and you can never move your king. You can never play king a3, so it's a draw. And that's what happened by transposition. And if you don't play g4, I'm going to do this and win. So this also draws, but it's more groveling. It's not as good as g4. Okay. And then he played here because he wants to do this and win. And Sam goes here. Perfect. And then here. And you can't win with black because there's no winning plan. I play king b1, king b2, king b1, king b2. Then black can lose king b1, king a3, rook takes a5 mate. And you can never win by playing b3 because I take with check and it's a dead draw. So this is a dead draw. So the only way to win is to go here and win the king and pawn ending, which doesn't win. Or go here and then eventually get your king out, which also doesn't win. So he tried it, right? He tried. And this is just a dead draw. You take it. Not taking it's also a dead draw. Now in this position, one move draws instantly, and otherwise black has winning chances. I think it's still a draw, but he just goes here. The thing is, obviously if you take, you can't win. And if I take on b4, you have to take with a pawn to try to win, and that's my king's here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Usually they play till stalemate, but he just agreed to a draw here. He's like, whatever. So I mean, he made the draw look really, really, really easy because for him it was. And a lot of times a position is completely winning or completely drawn, and then that happens, and you guys are like, SO. But then if somebody else had it, they'd be like, man, I was completely winning and I lost because it's hard to play these positions, but these guys are geniuses. They figure out the most accurate. It's very tough to do when you've been playing for 4 or 5 hours
Yeah.
And the guy's continually putting pressure on you. And there's pressure because you're trying to go to the next round and win thousands and thousands of dollars. See, here's something interesting about chess. Thanks, R.A. Kelly. Here's something interesting about chess. So, shifted over one file, then, better winning chances for black, obviously. Thanks, Pam, for the sub. My brother's like, move that over, and black has more chances.
Yeah.
Now, what was I saying? I was talking about the top level and playing and resigning and offering a draw, and the guy puts pressure on you. I don't know. Okay, and all that stuff. Oh, yeah. I know what I was talking about now. When you watch golf and tennis, and any sport, doesn't matter, and then let's say it's the finals, and Federer wins, and Nadal loses, or vice versa, and one guy's like, yay, and the other guy's like crying. I mean, then they go home to their billion-dollar mansions, and
Yeah.
Okay, at chess, Sam Shankland, one of the top 30 players in the world, if he loses in round one, which happens, or he makes it to the quarterfinals, that's very important to him. I mean, that could be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 difference, which is nothing to golf and tennis and football and basketball. But for a chess player, winning 50,000 instead of 5,000, that's some unexpected.
Yeah.
I mean, then he might get more invitations to GM. I mean, it's life changing for some people. Nobody knows who you are. Go away. Hey, in the World Cup, you beat everybody, Martirosyan. Can you come to our Super GM tournament? We have a $10,000 appearance fee. Last place is $20,000. He's like, yeah, that's better than not getting invited and playing Blitz on the internet.
So is Shankland doing better than expected in the World Cup? Because I feel like
I mean, he's the only American left.
Yeah.
There were 9 Americans. Now there's him.
Yeah.
Every time you win, you get a lot more money. If he wins the World Cup, which is very unlikely,
Candidate.
If
Yeah.
he wins an insane amount of money,
Yeah.
then he'll get an insane amount of money in the candidates.
Yeah.
If you win the candidates, which he won't do, but if you do,
Yeah.
and you lose the World Championship match, that's like $1 million.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, so these tournaments are really important for these people. That's why you see them crying when, they think they're going on, and then something bad happens, and
Is it top two get candidates, or is it just the winner?
It's the top. No, it's at least 2.
Okay.
It's the top 2 for the men's, and if Magnus is one of the top 2, the third place match against 4, that one of them goes.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the women's, it's 3, and if Gorchkina is one of the top 4, it's just the other 3 because she's already in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're hoping people who aren't playing Magnus or Gorchkina want them to keep going, so there's more places for them. Yeah. Okay, this was yesterday, and this was crazy like Fox News. Okay, this is Ponkratov, who I've barely heard of, and Etienne Bacrot, who I've known forever. I actually played him in the Pro Chess League, but I forgot what happened. I was equal for a while, and then I wasn't. Then I was better against MVL, and then I blundered and lost. We still won that match. But what's funny is our 2170 on board 4 beat MVL. I think with black. Yeah, I remember winning that match. I won the other 2 games. I beat somebody who's pretty good and somebody who's not pretty good. So I beat a grandmaster who's better than me, and then I beat the son of a grandmaster, who I've lost to before, before you guys were born. So Bacrot's white, as you all know, Bacrot was a GM when he was born. He's one of the youngest GMs who ever lived, and he was 2,700, and wow, and all that, and then that was it. So it looked like he would be top 5 in the world for a long time based on his, and then, and then you're like, who's that? Yeah. So he just hung around 2,700. He never got to 2,800, 2,790. He just was there forever. That was it. Okay, so he's white, and Bacrot can play crazy chess if he wants, as you can see. Okay, his queen's hanging, right? And he plays the only good move, and it wins. Every other move loses. Plays knight e5. Because, knight f7 is a good rejoinder to rook takes queen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the only winning move. The game gets crazier and crazier and crazier. This is yesterday. Rook takes b2. That's what you would have played.
Did not see that one.
Right. And the reason is, if you take the rook, I check with the queen, and then I take your queen, and this doesn't win my queen because your queen's not there. Right? That's what you were thinking. Okay. White has 2 winning moves here. He played this one. The other winning move, which I'm sure that was the only move you looked at, is this. That's the other winning move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too much stuff's hanging.
That makes sense.
Right. Now, you want to play knight f7 check, and this is the best move. Obviously, you have to hang a piece every move, otherwise you're not playing well. With the same idea, if king takes b1, then queen b8 check, stopping this, then take the queen. So king c2, ignoring it. Then this is the only move. And then king d3, because king c1's a draw. It's just, check, check, check. King d3, then rook b3, and then king e2, and eventually I win. You can still play here, and all the pieces are hanging. So instead of doing that, he played king takes b2, which also wins. King a3, nice and safe. This isn't mate because there's a queen here. Now you can safely take the queen. Takes, defending mate again, right? Mm-hmm. Now white has a lot of pieces. White has, rook and a piece for a queen. This is trapped. This doesn't really do anything. That's trapped. You can't go anywhere, right? Going here is no good. So even though white's up a queen for rook and a piece, the engine says white's winning. Okay, because white, this is the greatest knight ever. That's the greatest bishop ever. The king, which looks insanely not good, is good. Okay, the game continued. Queen b6, that's what you were going to play. Yeah. Obviously, it's pinned. Attacking the bishop. Maybe we'll sack here. You never know. Bishop f7's correct. Queen f6. All right, now he's looking away at the critical point. Okay, here, white played the move you would have played, except you wouldn't have played it. Oh, maybe. It's actually not the best move. It's the most exciting. The best is f4 cementing. But he played your favorite move, bishop g5. If you're not making a move that hangs a piece, get out. Okay? And this is a blunder because of black hanging a piece. If you're not hanging a piece, you're not trying. Bishop takes c5, which he did not play. That move actually draws. And then if you take, I go here, and it looks like white's mating, but it's just a perpetual. This is the engine line. Here, this move loses because you sack your bishop, and then you have this fork. Bam! So you have to play king h8. Looks really safe for black. And then the engine's like, no, white doesn't win. There's no win. Wow. And obviously if it's black's turn, god damn. Okay, so that was correct play. He didn't play bishop takes. He might have actually seen that and thought, bishop, I'm not doing that. That's no good. But that's the only way to draw. So he took with the knight. Obviously, if you take with the pawn, this is check and mate and winning the queen and all three. So the queen has a lot of squares to go to. Like b6, because it's pinned. Yeah. But then your bishop's hanging on e7. So you have to play, this move draws, but he played here. Takes. And still, white's not up material. So black might think, I'll win. I'm up material. Okay. It's two rooks for a queen, and black has, it's two rooks for a queen. And he plays rook b1, because he's going to come get him. And white's just completely winning. Black doesn't have any play. Knight on a5 is too stupid. This is a genius move, threatening check.
Looks like a good check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good move. So he stops it, checks this way. Here, threatening the same check, the same deviled egg. That's a good knight, see? Great. Yeah. I like rook d1 just to stop black from getting active. Yeah, rook g8, rook e8. Yeah, now you got to watch out for check on g6. Because the king can't go to g7 anymore.
Yeah.
So check, discovered check, and that's it. So he gives the g7 square for his king. But this, but this knight is shallow and pedantic. Yeah, the knight's not playing. So. King b4, attacking the trapped knight. And then here he resigned. Yeah, here you win the queen. See, this is funny. Here you don't win the queen, and here you do win the queen. Because if you play queen g7 loses the queen. If you play king g6, I take. Mm-hmm. That's why you shouldn't take on g3. And if you put it in h, then I check. You can't go here because rook g8. And if you go here, bishop e4. And if you play king g7, I take this. So you're losing your queen now. Obviously, black wasn't thinking he's losing his queen. He's like, damn, my knight. So I better. But it doesn't matter. He's lost anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, this is funny how after this, the super GM doesn't take back. He's like, oh, now I win the queen. And then black's like, yeah, I guess you do win the queen. God damn. Yeah. So I think here he resigned after rook e7. So that was the craziest game ever. Then today, Ponkratov won the must-win game, and now they're going to have a tiebreak. But I mean, that was crazy. I mean, that's like a totally insane game. And if you win totally insane games, you win a lot more prize money. Rating goes up, etc. Okay, almost done. Okay, this is the greatest trick ever. Okay, the greatest trick the guy ever played was convincing him he didn't exist, and then he was gone. What movie?
That's Usual Suspects.
Very good. Look at that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get
Did
it.
you see it?
No.
Yeah. By the way, people who are not well known as actors that are really good, I know who they are. My specialty in life that's not chess is knowing when people are great at stuff even when nobody else knows it. Okay, and one of my favorite actors is in that movie, but he's not famous. I mean, actors know he's good, but you guys, Pete Postlethwaite, who played Kobayashi, he's dead actually now, but that guy's a great actor. He's the lawyer. He's the guy that gives all the instructions from Kevin Spacey. Yeah, that guy's a genius. 200 Centidues. Yeah, that movie is great because everybody in that movie is great. Every actor in that movie is like, amazing. Okay, now, this is a draw because it's a draw. Like, everything's the same. We're the same, you and me, the same. We're not the same. I'm an American, and you're a fucked up asshole. What kind of vigilante are you? I'm not a vigilante. I just want to see my daughter. What movie?
I have no idea.
Anybody?
Taken?
No. Terrible. Anyone? They know. There's so many people watching.
Yeah, I mean, someone's...
Yeah.
And they can all Google it, so...
Yeah. Jodie Foster. No, Falling Down. Yeah. You ever seen Falling Down?
That is Falling Down. I've seen it Falling Down.
Yeah.
10
Okay.
times.
So, wow. Come on. Okay. Now, let me explain something about Falling Down to you. When I saw the movie when it came out in the theater, after the movie ended, I'm like, whoever that Army Navy guy is, he's the greatest actor who ever lived. He's just unknown nobody. Okay, when he's in the Army Navy store and he calls the gay people out, and then they killing each other, and the guy's insane and Nazi. Okay. And then I went to the internets, which I couldn't do when I saw it, because it was a long time ago. And that guy's a great actor. He's won a lot of awards. That's Frederick Forrest. I mean, he's a famous actor who's won like Emmys and he's won like he's on stage. Because that guy, I believe that guy. I didn't think that guy was acting. I was like, man, that guy, yeah. He got into a confrontation with Michael Douglas, and he's like an insane Nazi guy. And then they like try to kill each other and so forth. Okay. So in this position, White made triple question mark move. Okay, and I know why. Okay, I don't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't see anything either. He played Queen e4, which loses immediately. And he should have played Queen e2, then the same line doesn't work. We're the same, okay? Now, I'll show you the difference. So he thought, the rook can't take with check because I attack the rook and I'm attacking the knight. The rook is defending the knight, okay? And unfortunately, when you calculate tactics and you're wrong, the game's over. And I understand what he missed. I understand completely. So this happened, and now black made a move that white didn't see. And then after that, it's over. See, the rook's attacked, the knight's attacked. So that's why white didn't think that would happen. And black played here. Now, if white had played queen e2, he could just play knight takes rook now. But now he can't because the queen's hanging. Yeah. And this is annoying. So you can't go here, and you can't allow that. You can't allow rook takes pawn. So the best move is completely losing. Knight here, and you just lose the endgame. You're losing. Terrible. And here's a funny line. Okay, it looks like king f3 wins because you're attacking both, and then here, truth hurts. Okay, so instead of playing knight g3, he played this, which is great because now we see more tactics. That's another blunder, but he's lost anyway. Check here. I attack you, you attack me. Black has the greatest tactic here in history. There's more than one move that wins. Queen g5 just wins simply. Then Black's just winning. But that's the way to win.
All right, yeah.
That's how you do it. Man, that went crazy all of a sudden. It was like boring, equal everything, and then Black took all of White's pieces. So if you take, I go check, you move your king away from my rook, and then I take your queen. God damn. Yeah, when you're White and the guy goes here, and you're like super grandmaster, 15-year-old beating Geary, and you're like, oh, I can't explain how bad the guy feels.
Yeah.
The guy's like, I'm the greatest, and then you're like, damn, I suck. So, I mean, you missed some tactics because you're time trouble. So this position's completely equal. And then after queen e4 is completely lost, and he keeps getting tricked tactically. It's good if you're a spectator. And he drew today, Kacper, and then we interviewed him, and he's a pretty funny guy, actually. Yeah.
Friendly?
Karaoke. Yeah, nice guy.
Friendly ghost?
Yeah. No, when they made that shit. Yesterday, he said he wasn't being friendly. I said that because,
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least was this game. Jeffrey, this was yesterday, Jeffrey losing to Vidit. As you can see, the engine likes White.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says every move is good for White.
Yeah.
And I agree. I mean, that's great, and looks like we can checkmate you, and, Black has nothing. Okay, and he lost very quickly, White. Okay, time trouble. And Jeffrey made a really bad move here. Well, it wasn't really bad, but I thought it was the best move, and Black has to resign. And then Black played a move I didn't see, and then the game went on. What he should play is always retreat. Well, not that. He should play here. Okay, defends the pawn, defends b1, defends against knight e2 check. And the idea is you can't play queen takes because your rook's hanging. And you don't want to play rook takes because the pawn on the 7th is too strong. I'll just go back and defend it here, whatever. And so Black can't play rook c4, rook c1, which is what he did in the game. That's a very hard move to find.
Yeah.
So we stop all of Black's counterplay. We defend all the important key squares. And in case Black does take this ever, the bishop's not attacked. So it's just a great move. And White has a monster advantage. Okay. And this is where Jeffrey lost his World Cup chances. Played queen d2, and I was like, oh, that must win. That's great. You're threatening the rook, and you're also threatening the heir. God damn. And actually, Black has two good moves here, rook a4 and rook c4, which I didn't see. And now we're going to check, and we're going to check, and so forth. Mainly and so forth. So in this position, White has one move that gives him an advantage, and in time trouble, there's no way you're going to see it. Right? It's queen e3. And the reason is, which doesn't make any sense, if you take this, I go here, and I'm like, well, Black just won a pawn. Why is White trading queens? But that's because if I take that pawn, now you're talking. And if you trade queens, your knight's attacked. And your rook's attacked. Yeah. Right? So this is the engine line. This is the engine. Knight has to defend the pawn, pin the knight. And White's a pawn down, but White's pressing. Bishop here, sometimes bishop e8. And the engine thinks White's probably winning here. Probably. Okay. And after queen e3, you don't take the pawn, which is hard to resist. Actually, you do take the pawn. So there you go. And also on the queen on e3, if you play let's say check and queen takes e5 check, for example, then I have f4. It says this is equal, and I'm threatening everything. You have to save all your pieces. The engine says this is fine, but it didn't say it was fine here. Oh, now it does. I had to play it. And then here's a line that you'll like. It's just for you guys.
All right.
Okay? If you play g3, are you ready?
I don't know. Yikes.
Confusing the audience.
That's a lot of pins.
Yeah, then check,
and
tier, takes, and it's probably still a draw. Yeah, this is still a draw. I'm taking this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot going on in chess that doesn't happen in the game. Okay, Jeffrey said, you will know my name is the Lord. And Vidit's like, it ain't my Lord. Played here. And he's like, yeah, take that so I can mate your ass. Okay. And he's like, yeah, okay, mate me. Mate me, I dare you. I double dare you. Do they speak English in what? So it looks good for white. Okay, check. Check. Now, if G3, watch this forced mate. Check. And then knight H4 check.
Okay.
Because you want to check and give him the mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if F3, then yeah, this is mate. Yeah. So takes here and then mate.
Damn.
Okay, so he didn't play G3. Whoa. Okay. So he didn't play G3. He played F4. Right? Now black has a forced draw, which I pointed out during the stream, actually. And then takes and perpetual. Or black can win, which is what he decided to do.
What did he need in the...
No, that's what game one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
So he played this, which wins. Also, it might lose if you don't calculate right. Okay. So you can take it or play king F G3. This is just easy mate, because white only has one legal move, and that's all mate. Checkmate. So he has to play king G3, queen check. You have to play king G4. If you take, you're instantly mated. You have to play king G4. Now, knight H2 might win. Maybe not. But this move does win. Okay, you got to attack that king. Now, this loses immediately because I play rook C4 check. The engine plays queen here, which is not what you want to do. If you go here, then this is mate. By the way, if it's white's move, then it's black's move. Okay, so you have to play king G5 because you're getting mated otherwise. Knight F7, you have to take it because your queen's hanging. Now, if you go here, knight takes queen, rook B8, white wins.
That would happen in some of my games.
But queen E4, and then white don't win because now you lose your queen and it's not mate. Okay, so he played rook takes F7, and there's no perp here because the king just runs away. So he tried, but he failed miserably. The lesson is never try, and then he resigned. And then today he had to win. Position was okay, but then he got crushed. So he lost 2-0. Now, because of the 2-0, let's see how smart my co-commentators are.
Uh-oh.
On the live rating list, Vidit is number 2 in India. Obviously, it's Anand is 1. Who was number 2 forever until Vidit just passed him?
Bodybond?
No.
Sarin?
No. He got knocked out today.
Hari Krishna.
Hari Krishna's been number 2 forever. And actually, he was very close to Anand at one point. Then he went down. Now he lost and Vidit won. Now Vidit's number 2. Vidit's 21 in the world, and Hari Krishna's 22 in the world. So India's going to have a good Olympic team. They got those guys. They got Sarin coming. They got Praggnanandhaa coming. Adiband's good. Anand's pretty good.
Also, Hari Krishna beat me once.
In a simul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Lee chess.
Okay.
Of course.
Hari Krishna beat my second wife in a simul in real life. Like some Indian kind of place got Hari Krishna to come to Michigan. And then I was like at a tournament in Vegas or something. But yeah, she didn't do well against him. Yeah. But I did learn that his favorite food is okra. So I didn't think anybody's favorite food was okra.
Yeah,
but
can't
his
stand
is.
okra.
Yeah, right. What? No, I mean, I can eat okra if I have to, but how can it be your favorite food? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You're from Chicago. You choke on your own rage.
Yeah, it's got to be some pasta, pizza, that sort of thing. A lot of calories.
There you go. There's a Chicago guy talking. Yeah, that's right. It's deep dish, yeah. Yeah, people on my stream are always mad. They're like, Chicago pizza's terrible, New York pizza. And I'm like, they're just pizza. You eat them. And then if you're from Italy, then you choke on your own rage. The Italians always say their food's good and the rest of the world is bad. It's hard to talk to those guys.
But that's like all of Europe, right?
No, but it's Italy.
But it's really
No,
Italy.
it's Italy. Yeah. Everybody in Italy thinks Italian food is the best and every other food is terrible.
Yeah.
Not like our food's better and that food's pretty good. No. That food's not food and our food is food. Yeah, if you make Italian food in the U.S. and you're Italian, you're not Italian because you don't live in Italy. If you're Italian, move to the U.S. and you make food, no, you're not Italian anymore. You've lost your privilege, your early privileges. Yeah, good Pulp Fiction quote. Who are the two people beside me? If you can call them people. That's C.L. Smith 15, and that's Thaddeus. That's who they are. Portuguese food is the best. Never had it. Anybody?
Nope.
I think I had Portuguese once. It was in northern Alabama somewhere, which makes no sense that there would be a Portuguese restaurant.
His favorite fruit is okra stew.
Yeah,
You've never been so mad?
That guy's wrong.
Yeah, he's just.
He's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. You thought it was Vincent Vega? Well, maybe. Do the players go for bologna sandwiches after the game? You idiot! I said abalone, not bologna. Which cartoon? That's a tough one. Let's see if anybody gets it. I said abalone, not bologna.
I was going to guess Simpsons, but you
That's
said
correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's correct. But who said it? That's shocking.
I think I was going to guess Mayor Quimby.
It's shocking who said it.
Okay, so it's not Mayor Quimby.
No, it's shocking.
It's shocking,
Yeah.
so it's...
You wouldn't even believe me.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were making a pun like Professor...
No. It's shocking who said it.
Ralph?
No, that would be
That
good.
would be good.
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa said, "You idiot! I said abalone, not bologna."
But she's a vegetarian.
Yeah, but it's a cartoon. So,
Yeah.
so what happened was Marge got invited to this super swanky club, and she wanted to make everybody to join, and she's trying to get Homer to behave. And Lisa's like, "Those clubs are for the million. That's terrible." But then they let her ride a horse, and she's like, "Oh, okay." So she's riding the horse, and she's like really happy. And then she becomes like a snob, like the people at the club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oscar Mayer abalone. Now, have either of you had St. Louis? You haven't. Have you had St. Louis pizza? I hope not.
No.
Yeah, you've never. This will be the maddest you've ever been in your life, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you eat St. Louis pizza, you'll be like, "Man, Ben was right," because you're from Chicago. St. Louis pizza is like a cracker base, and they put ketchup on it and cheese that's not considered cheese by the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
Provel.
Yeah, I'll pass.
And then the St. Louis people are like, "Oh, that's good." No, it's not good. Okay, it's worse than what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of places have that really sweet sauce,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just doing it wrong. It's got to be savory, not sweet.
Persian food is frankly delicious. Yeah. Yeah, St. Louis pizza is the worst thing that's ever happened on earth. Which famous character also wore your shirt? Yeah, that's why he has it. Yeah, obviously. Let's see. Yay, go vegan. Agreed. Everybody should be vegan. You can still hurt animals, but go vegan anyway.
Yeah, who
Right.
makes the best vegan pizza?
Right. Unclear. See? What does that say?
Vegan leather.
Vegan leather. So if I'm hungry, and then, yeah. And that's my bad motherfucker. So I'm ready for everything. Yeah. Mediterranean food is good. I've had pizza in St. Louis. Ha ha. Yeah. City Museum is a really weird place. I can't describe it. I've had people describe it. It's like, it's inside, it's indoors. Actually, some of it's outdoors. And it's very scary. It looks like you're just always going to die. You could. I don't know how people don't die there every day, by the way. And then there's like a slide that's like 7 stories. You slide, it's inside. You just keep sliding until like you pass out. And then you always hit your head on everything. There's like you're like in caves inside, and you just get hurt. You just get
like
hurt.
an amusement park? Like...
I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it. Right. I've been to City Museum. It's crazy. Describe City Museum to them, because I can't do it. I don't understand how to say what it is. It's very strange. Yeah. That is Magnus. It's a 10-story slide. It wasn't that great. Man, harsh. It's an adult playground with a bar. It's you get hurt when you go there. You're gonna get hurt. Mm-hmm. And I went to slide down, and the kid in front of me who was going before me, he was maybe like 10. He started crying and ran away. He wasn't going down. Yeah. I'm not gonna not go down because I already got. I can't. I'm not gonna walk. I already walked all the way up. So if I die, I die. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you in the roller coaster or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's like a kid tried to make a museum, but was thinking about a playground for adults. I liked it. You have to go there and be like, oh, like it's hard to explain what it is. It's very strange. It's a big like tourist attraction in St. Louis if you live. Yeah. All right, that's enough of whatever I was doing. Let's see. I can rate anybody. I always rate Chianti and Chesbro. I never rate anybody else. Let's rate that guy. Right? Should I raid you, or you're not streaming?
Nah, darn.
I spelled raid wrong. I just didn't put raid. Yeah, he comes to our club. He lives near here.
Yeah, I was messaging. I was trying to get him to play in the Blitz tournament, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I like that. Raid Geo Smith. Wait a minute.
No, not him.
200 centages. Thanks for watching. Thanks for my co-hosts, Thaddeus and CL Smith 15. Also, etc. Mainly, etc. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I start 11 a.m. on the chess.com Twitch with Danny Wrench. Before me is Ifan. Also, Ifan's behind me, making sure the stream is okay. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. You guys can say bye too.
Bye.